Welcome to the Privacy News Online Weekly Recap, where we bring you the latest privacy news stories from around the world. My name is Brian Tong, and I'm your host. Without further ado, here's the latest from Privacy News Online. Max Schrem files 101 complaints across 30 European countries to turbocharge GDPR's impact, and he's not the only one. The European privacy activist behind Noib recently filed these complaints to follow up on the recent European Union Court of Justice decision that invalidated the Privacy Shield framework of international transfer for private information. Noib is joined by other activists such as the Privacy Collective in filing these complaints. These complaints could be the legal proceedings that finally bring some teeth to the GDPR, fingers crossed. Experian breach affects over 24 million customers and businesses in South Africa. The consumer credit agency has suffered a data breach in South Africa, which affects millions of customers and almost a million businesses. This data breach was the result of something called social engineering. What happened was Experian willingly sent the data to a hacker who was just pretending to be a client. On their end, Experian has claimed that the attacker has since been caught and his copy of the data has since been deleted. But make sure you know where you're sending data to next time, guys. Clear Channel to start tracking consumers with billboards in Europe. The international billboard company Clear Channel is rolling out a new program to advertisers in Europe that will allow them to track consumers that see the billboard. Clear Channel will buy your location data from your smartphone, which can be used to verify if you pass by a target billboard. The advertising company claims that this information is well anonymized and also pointed to the fact that this program has been active in the United States for years. So, P&O wants to know, how do you feel about billboards tracking your location? I don't know how I feel about that. Actually, I do. I don't like it. Now, comment below and your comment could be read during next week's episode. If we read your comment, you'll get 1 month of free VPN service from private internet access. And last week, we asked you, do you think police should be allowed to use facial recognition technology? And the answers we got were pretty divided. On one end, Ross Robinson commented, "Oh, hell no!" On the other end, the programmer commented, "Yes, I do believe that police should be able to use facial recognition in the law enforcement space. It has helped many police make arrests on dangerous criminals. It will also help with prosecutions against said criminals." Thanks to both Ross and the programmer for the insightful comments. Since we read your comments during this week's episode, both of you will be receiving 1 month VPN subscription to private internet access for free. All right, now let's check out the latest cybersecurity news from Josh, a cybersecurity expert from Intego, developers of award-winning security software.
Here's this week's top cybersecurity story, brought to you by Intego. Last week, Google fixed a major vulnerability in Gmail just 7 hours after the exploit details went public. The bug allowed any attacker to send emails with a spoofed from address to anyone who uses Gmail or G Suite as their email provider. Allison Hussein, the security researcher who found the bug, first reported it to Google on April 3rd, and Google marked it as a duplicate, meaning Google probably already knew about this before April. And yet Google didn't mitigate the issue until after the researcher published the full details on August 19th. Yikes, Google, where were you on that one? That's it for now. Back to you, Brian.
Thanks, Josh, and if you want to learn more about Intego, check out the links below. Now let's get back to more headlines that highlight cybersecurity's importance. Unsecured social data database leaks 235 million public profiles from TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Researchers from Comparatech recently discovered unsecured databases which contain profile information which was scraped from popular social media platforms. The databases belong to a company called Social Data and contain a trove of information including profile picture, age, gender, likes, and more. Experts are worried that this information could be used for phishing attacks, and they should be. UK class action style claim filed over Marriott data breach. A new class action lawsuit has been filed in the United Kingdom against Marriott for failing to protect personal data. Between 2014 and 2018, hackers were able to steal information on over 500 million guests from Marriott. Since the dates of the data breach extend through 2018, Marriott could be liable under GDPR rules. So far, the UK government has proposed a $123 million fine for the data breach, which would be separate from any judgment found in the class action claim. US Border Patrol says they can create central repository of traveler emails and keep them for 75 years. The US Border Patrol has released clarifications on how they will handle digital data taken from travelers at the border. Officially, the Border Patrol can make a mirror image of your device and then store it for up to 75 years. Stored information can include emails, videos, pictures, texts, location history, web browser information, and more. Now, courts have ruled that constitutional rights don't apply at the border, so next time you cross that border, have a plan. Now it's time for Privacy Talks. Privacy Talks brings you interviews between Privacy News Online's Caleb Chen and influencers, activists, and experts from pro-privacy organizations around the world. Let's go to Caleb, who recently caught up with Robin Wilton from the Internet Society to ask him some questions about quantum computing and its implications on the encrypted internet. So check out the link in the description to watch the full interview, but right now, it's time for the highlight reel.
Robin, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. We're very excited to have you.
It's great to be here, Caleb, and thanks for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
Why is quantum computing a threat to encryption, and how worried should we be?
The reason why quantum computing poses a threat to encryption is that classical computers understand bits, and a bit can be either a 1 or a 0. It can't be anything else, and that's all that the classical computer understands. And it has to be one or the other. With a quantum computer, the quantum equivalent of a bit, a qubit, quantum bit, can represent multiple states or values at the same time. Encryption systems are designed to be really hard for classical computers to crack. The most common kinds of encryption are essentially like having to try every combination of a combination lock. So you'd have to go through all the numbers from 0000 to 9999 until you found the one that opened the lock. If you think of each of those numbers as a qubit instead, and you've got a quantum computer that is processing them with all the possible values they could have at the same time, you can narrow it down to the right set of 4 digits for your 4-digit combination lock much quicker than with a classical computer. And that's the basic principle behind why quantum computing is a threat to encryption.
Thank you very much for your insights.
Most welcome. Thanks again for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
You can check out the links in the description to learn more about the Internet Society. Now you're up to date on the latest privacy and cybersecurity news. Privacy News Online is brought to you by Private Internet Access, the award-winning no-log VPN service who reminds you to always use protection. Now, whether you use the internet to stream, torrent, or just browse, a VPN subscription from Private Internet Access will hide your IP address and location, block ads, malware, and trackers, and will even unblock geo-restricted content so you can stream your favorite shows wherever you are in the world. Don't wait another second. Sign up for Private Internet Access now and get up to 2 months free using the link below, where you can also find a link to learn more about all the stories on this week's Privacy News Online. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Brian Tong, and we will see you next week.